If you're struggling with consistency, then this video is for you. So over the past few years, I've struggled with consistency a lot in terms of just going to the gym, studying, any good habit. I would do it for like a couple of days and I would never be able to continue it. Like I would promise myself at the start of the year that I'll be sleeping at 10 p.m. every night. But then eventually I realized that that doesn't happen and I eventually just gradually slip away from the goal that I set myself, and I'm never able to actually stay consistent in the long run. But there are also situations where I'm doing the good habit, like I'm going to the gym, but every now and then I just decide to switch up my workout routine and I just try something new rather than sticking with what I have. And so both situations that I've described to you are different issues with consistency, but they have different forms and the solutions to them are different. So I will just address them one by one. So the first type of consistency challenge is when you actually struggle with the actual activity itself. For example, let's say it's going to bed at 10 p.m. every day. If I struggle with consistency, it means some nights I sleep at 12, or some nights I sleep at 3 a.m. Other nights I sleep at 8 p.m. But I'm not consistent in actually meeting my goal. If that's the case, the way to actually achieve that is just through progressively overloading. So that's kind of like a term people use in the gym, which is in the gym, you progressively overload by adding more weight every single time. So you progressively make it harder for yourself, or you progressively move towards your goal. Now, when it comes to achieving other goals like sleep, let's say my goal is to get into bed by 10 p.m. But right now I'm sleeping at 12. Well, my goal shouldn't be to sleep at 10 the next day. It should be to sleep at 11:45. And then a few days later, try and get that to 11:30, then 11:15, then 11, then 10:45, then 10:30, 10:15, and then 10. So you gradually make your way down to your goal as opposed to trying to just hit it on your first night. Because if we use a gym analogy, it's kind of like if you go to the gym for the first time in your life and you try and bench 100 kilos, obviously you're not going to get there. So the way to do it is slowly build your way up, because it's just like a muscle. Whether it be going to the gym, which is a literal muscle, or maintaining a good habit like sleeping or studying or any other good habit, it's also a muscle to become consistent. And the way to do that is through progressively overloading. Now, that's the first type of consistency, where you struggle with actually doing the task in the first place. Now, there's another type of consistency challenge, and this is where you're actually doing the task. For example, let's say you're going to the gym, but you just randomly switch up the routine, day in and day out. Or let's say you have a diet. You want to go on the keto diet, but one day you just suddenly switch it up. Oh, now keto's not good, I'm going to do carnivore. Or carnivore is not good, I'm going to do paleo. You just keep switching it up. Technically, you still are doing the habit in the sense of maintaining a good diet, but the way you're doing that is just different. And the reason that's an issue is because if you just constantly switch different routines, you're not actually going to see the results of any single routine, because that's not the point. You can't just do a bit of this, bit of that to see results in everything. You have to stick with one thing in particular for a decent amount of time for you to actually see results. So for me, it's like going to the gym. Sometimes I want to do push-pull legs, but when it gets to leg day, I think, oh no, maybe I should do a different split that involves less legs. Maybe I should do bro split or something else. And I just constantly keep changing up the routines that I do. Now, the issue with that is obviously, you don't see results and you just end up wasting your time. Yes, sure, eventually you want some variety, but you don't want to have a variety every single day. You want variety after you've actually given one particular habit a decent amount of time, whether that be a gym split or a diet. Now, the reason that this occurs is because of a mental bias that I've realized. I always thought that grass was greener on the other side, in the sense that, cool, I'm doing this diet right now, but if I do just that diet, I'm going to feel much better. But the thing is, after I tried that diet, I didn't realize, oh, maybe that other diet was actually better, and then I go back. And so what I realized is that grass is not greener on the other side. Instead, grass is greener where you water it. So what this basically means, and my takeaway from all of this, is whatever habit I try to do, I just need to stick to it, because the grass is greener on this side, given that I water it by spending more time and locking myself into this pathway, as opposed to thinking about all the different other like grasses that I could water, because I could water all those grasses and they could be great, but that's not the point. The point it doesn't matter which gym, which diet, which habit you choose. If you pick one and you stick to it, that's going to get you the best results. The best habit is the habit that you can actually stick to. So that's the main takeaway. If you're struggling with consistency, identify which issue it is. Is it the second issue that I talked about, which is where you're already doing the good habit, but you're just like mixing up the ways you're doing that habit? Or you're not actually doing the habit at all, in that case, you should just work on progressively overloading so you can actually do the habit. Now, with both of these reasons, if you identify which reason is for you and you address it appropriately, then you'll be able to become much more consistent. So hope that goes well, and let me know your story in the comments below. Catch up.